Welcome back to your source for the latest hunting and fishing information. Outdoors Radio with Dan Small.
Welcome back to Outdoors Radio. I'm Dan Small. You've probably heard by now that air guns are now legal for hunting in Wisconsin during any season that's open to firearm hunting. And joining me now to talk about air guns is Joel Braun. He's the founder of Serpent Arms of Juneau, Wisconsin. And Serpent Arms is a sponsor of my Deer Hunt Wisconsin TV show. Their website is serpentarms.com. Well, Joel, thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Outdoors Radio Network.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Last week, as you know, I had a chance to shoot your Serpent Arms Air shotgun and also a prototype of your big bore rifle, and I'm looking forward to hunting turkeys with one of your shotguns this spring. For people who are not familiar with these high-powered air guns, tell us how they work. This is not your Daisy BB gun or your grandpa's pellet gun, is it?
No. Through technology, we've been able to up the power that a gun is able to kick out. So kind of like the tanks that are used in paintballing and stuff like that. We're using high-pressure tanks, and ours goes up to 4,300 PSI. And using that, you're able to push, whether it be shotgun shell, or the cartridge or a bullet out the barrel at about 1,000 feet per second. So, yeah, it's a little more extreme, and we're able to push some weights. So the goal was to get to that level of being lethal with the gun.
Yeah, and lethal they are. You have been hunting turkeys, and you and some of your family members and employees, and you've had some success already.
Yeah, this is the first season, and I have to admit, it's been the first time, I think, in a long time that I had to go to day 6 of a 7-day season. The first 2 days, we had a little bit of rain and stuff, and then the next 2 days, it was 29 degrees wake up. And I'll have to admit, we didn't make it through the day, past noon like we probably should have. So what I discovered is the birds started moving later in the day when it was warmer out. So I finally got out there, had an appointment on Monday morning, and I was able to get out to where we do our turkey hunting. I got out there, I think, around 2 o'clock and came walking around to look for where they would be maybe for the next day and roost something. And here they were hunkered down with the wind, was able to grab the Reaper and sneak up to them and make a 7-yard shot at a nice big tom.
Now, you actually got within 7 yards of that bird before you shot, before it knew you were there? How'd that happen?
I think it could have come closer. I don't know. Something in their brain goes wacko when that Reaper comes out. I can't explain it. It's probably it's the 4th bird that I use the Reaper for. I hunt on private. I don't think I would take it with me if I was hunting public, but boy, it's pretty realistic, and something about that just makes them birds curious and come walking in. If you were walking as a person, I think if they saw you, they'd be gone. But they see that, and even though there's a body behind it, which still confuses me, they just get dumb and come walking in.
Yeah, antelope hunters out west have used decoys for years. In fact, the Native Americans would take a deer hide or an antelope hide or a buffalo hide and on all fours and get close to game. So I know that works. And then, of course, a lot of people are using, you call it the Reaper. There are a variety of decoys that are essentially a fan on a stick that you can hide behind. Turkeys see that fan, and I guess it just tells them, there must be another turkey there.
Yeah, they get challenged a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And you videoed this with multiple cameras. How the heck did you pull that off?
Well, on our Serpent Arms 28-gauge shotgun, there's pick rails on there, and I put a Tacticam on, which gives you more of a close-up shot, and then I used a GoPro 360 on it also. But the only problem is when I get into hunt mode, sometimes I'm not always aware of where the cameras are. So I had the fan in front of the Tacticam, so we didn't get the best footage with that. But the GoPro 360 gave me pretty good footage. You just didn't have that close-up shot on it. That allows you to kind of self-film your hunt with having that combination.
Yeah, and of course you've got a lot of experience because you had your own TV show for a number of years doing hunts like this.
Yeah, you learn a lot. You learn from your mistakes, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm still learning after 40 years of making mistakes doing TV. But let's get back to the shotgun. Now, it's 28 gauge, and how does it actually operate? I know, but people are wondering, how does this thing work?
Have a little ADHD, plus have a passion for challenge. So in 2015, I got tired of shooting stuff with shotgun, 12 gauge, and also I started shooting turkeys with the bow too. I thought I want to do something different. So did a little duck hunting, took a gun that was available out there, and that one of the only shotguns out there in the air gun industry, and it just didn't perform very well. The cartridge they used broke apart, the pattern was terrible, and it was kind of underpowered. So owning a machine shop, we kind of decided to make some changes and design the cartridge itself. And our goal was to get at least a half ounce of shot and try to get up to that 1,000 feet per second. And we were able to achieve that. And so we achieved that with the gun, converted some of the other manufacturers' guns, and were able to make them work and shoot some ducks and geese and stuff like that. And then we decided we wanted air efficiency because a lot of them guns only had a couple shots, and then they were done. It was time to fill the tank up. So what we did is created our own gun, designed it, and had that gun capable of doing 8 to 10 shots out of a tank. And on top of that, what we wanted to do is be able to change tanks in the field, and the other guns don't allow that either. So we're able to change tanks in the field versus carrying a big air source like a scuba tank or something. So now when I go duck hunting, I'll take 2 extra tanks in my backpack and go out there, and I don't think I've ever yet got to my 3rd tank while I'm out hunting.
So that's essentially like carrying a couple of boxes of shells, which a lot of us do if we're duck hunting. Usually 1 box will do for grouse or woodcock, but for turkeys, man, if I carry 5 shells, I'm overloaded.
Yeah, if you're shooting 5 times, there's something other than your nerves going on that, I think.
Yeah. So this gun is capable of multiple shots. It's a lever action, and it's a quick reload, and the cartridge itself, describe that. How does that work?
So the cartridge is an injection molded cartridge, and so there's no more plastic in that cartridge than there is on the wad coming out of your barrel from a shotgun shell. So it's the same amount of plastic. So we call it a self-contained wad, basically. So it's a cartridge. It has air holes in the back and a cap that goes on top. So it's actually a robust shell also that you can put in the gun, take the shell back out, change it to a different size shot if you wanted to. So we wanted to have a robust shell, made that work that way, and then you go and put that in there, and when the valve hits and it kicks the air out, the air goes through them holes, popping the cap, but the shot remains in the cartridge all the way down the barrel until it comes out. And when it comes out, we have a choke on the end, which is basically opposite as your typical chokes. So more restriction tugs on the cartridge more, releasing the shot quicker. Less restriction actually leaves the shot in the cartridge longer, giving you a tighter choke.
We patterned your gun at, I guess it was 20 or 25 yards at a turkey target, and it was definitely a lethal pattern. And you've killed birds, and other hunters have killed birds at longer distances than the 7 yards you managed on the bird you shot this year.
Yeah, we had one customer come in and say that he dropped his at 35 yards with number 9 TSS. And we had another one come in and say he used 7.5-inch lead, which I don't advise, but he used 7.5 lead and dropped one at 30 yards also. So it does hold a tight pattern. It holds about a 12 to 14-inch pattern and stays pretty tight, so there's no holes in it.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I shot your prototype rifle as well. Now, that is something you're still working on, right?
Yep, we just got barrels done. We have to do some tuning with that. And that's the one thing about the air guns that people also have to understand. It's probably closer to when you're doing archery versus anything else because there's a lot of tuning between air pressures and the weight of what you're shooting, the grains that you're shooting. And when it comes to the bullets, it's a balance between the resistance of that bullet going down the barrel, how long that valve stays open, and then to get that accuracy out of it also. We're working on trying to get out to 100 yards. Most air guns, PCP air guns, should be shooting shots. 50, 60-yard shots should be your average. Can we get out to 100? We can. I think right now we're working on probably about a 4-inch pattern out to that range. But again, we're also trying to see if we can get more shots out of that tank also.
So you've got some work to do. Do you think you'll have one ready for our gun deer season?
I'm 100% confident we'll have something ready by then.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to that as well. Now, where can people see and buy the guns?
So right now we're online. We're selling them online out of the manufacturing facility. So they're available online, and then we have one dealer set up in Wisconsin so far in Montello, Wisconsin, called Pierce Plus. So we are adding dealers. So I think we'll be getting also a page on our website for serpentarms.com or we'll start putting those dealers on there. So as we add more dealers, there'll be more locations to look at the guns.
Well, Joel, that all sounds exciting. As I mentioned, I can't wait to get out and hunt turkeys with the one I have. I've been shooting it, and I like it. It's not loud. There's no recoil. It's lightweight. I mean, it's everything you could want in a shotgun and multiple shots if you need them. So I think you got a winner here.
Well, good luck. And then send us some pictures. Get that hero shot.
You'll be the first to know. Well, thanks so much. We'll talk again as deer season approaches, if not before. And good luck. I'm sure you've got another tag or two.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
You bet. Joel Braun, founder of Serpent Arms of Juneau, Wisconsin. The website, serpentarms.com. Check it out. It's a great new option for hunting. I'm Dan Small. You're listening to Outdoors Radio.